Hello there, a warm welcome to Africa News, bringing you the top stories on the continent, the headlines. Seizing Chibok in northeast Nigeria, officials say the town where almost 300 schoolgirls were abducted in April is now in the hands of Islamic extremists. A day after Burkina Faso approves a transitional charter, opponents of several African countries gather in Paris, calling for greater transparency on the continent. France 24 went to meet them. And the Confederation of African Football confirms Equatorial Guinea as hosts of the 2015 African Cup of Nations. Meanwhile, in the qualifiers, Ivory Coast finds its feet with a 5-1 win over Sierra Leone. Nigerian police say a suicide bomb has killed 6 people, including 3 policemen, in the northern city of Kano. 5 others were also injured in the attack, which happened at a petrol station. Kano has previously been the target of several bombings by Boko Haram militants. Well, meanwhile, Nigerian officials say Islamic extremists have seized the northeastern town of Chibok, forcing thousands of residents to flee. Chibok is where insurgents abducted almost 300 schoolgirls back in April, sparking global outrage. The extremists reportedly drove into the town shooting before taking control of it on Thursday afternoon. Well, Aminu Abubakar is in Kano. He tells us the latest on Chibok and why the town is significant.
From what we hear from residents who fled the town, Boko Haram gunmen have blew up all telecom towers in the sun, shutting the Chibok from the outside world. And now Chibok is now a ghost town as Boko Haram on the prowl, patrolling the streets. And so far, no one knows what is the fate of the residents trapped in who couldn't flee when the Islamists attacked after subduing soldiers and local vigilantes who initially put up a fight.
Now, Aminu, so it's clearly still uncertain what's going on there, but why Chibok, and why has it become rather a strategic place for insurgents?
Chibok, since the kidnap of the schoolgirls, Chibok has attracted world attention and outrage over the kidnapping. And now Boko Haram, from all indication, wants to seek to associate itself. An attack on Chibok will further outrage the world and draw more attention and more condemnation all over the world. And it will be a reminder of the plight of the Chibok girls, which is exactly what Boko Haram seeks to achieve by this attack on Chibok.
Aminu Abubakar reporting from Kano there. Well, it's time now for a look at some news in brief. A 4th person has reportedly died from the Ebola virus in the Malian capital. The World Health Organization said on Friday the virus could have spread from the body of a victim brought to a Bamako mosque. The first sign of an outbreak in the capital was when a nurse died earlier this week at a clinic. The Ebola-related deaths have dashed hopes of Mali being free of the virus. The country is now scrambling to prevent a major epidemic. The oil giant Shell has admitted it underestimated its Niger Delta oil spillages. That's according to British court documents exposed by Amnesty International. Amnesty said on Thursday the admission meant Shell had made false claims about the impact of 2 oil spills at Bodo in Nigeria in 2008. Shell says the pipes were sabotaged and they can't be held responsible. Algeria's President Abdelaziz Bouteflika has been admitted to hospital in the French town of Grenoble. The reason this time remains unclear, but Bouteflika has been in poor health since 2013 when he was treated for a mini-stroke in Paris. The Algerian presidency is due to release a statement later. Well, next, who will lead Burkina Faso's civilian transition? That's the question being broached a day after a unanimous agreement on interim institutions by the ruling army and civilians. The transitional charter was approved in Ouagadougou on Thursday. It's yet to be signed by Lieutenant Colonel Isaac Zida, who took the reins of Burkina Faso when President Blaise Compaoré resigned a fortnight ago. Well, staying with this story, opposition leaders from 8 African countries met here in Paris on Friday to discuss Burkina Faso's recent uprising. Top of the opponents' agenda was ensuring greater transparency in other countries on the continent. France 24's Nicolas Germain and Bangalore Tory went to meet them.
Around the table, opposition leaders from 8 African nations. Many are from countries where the president is rumoured to want to change the constitution to run again, like in DR Congo and Burundi. The recent uprising in Burkina Faso has inspired them and given them much hope.
It was a very good thing. The people said we have no weapons, but we ask you to leave power. We want Africa to function normally, with democracies and a change of rulers.
These leaders hope to influence the international community and put an end to presidents who stay in power forever.
It was important that the different opposition leaders in Africa should meet. In the long run, we will lobby institutions like the African Union, the UN, the EU, so that our different constitutions are respected.
But why meet here when Paris is accused of interfering in African politics? Recently, it helped the Burkina Faso president escape to Ivory Coast.
In which African country could we have organized such a meeting? Our rulers often prevent opposition leaders from gathering, so we could not have held such a meeting elsewhere.
These opposition leaders have promised to meet regularly. Their hope is to follow the example of the people of Burkina Faso.
The Confederation of African Football has confirmed that Equatorial Guinea will host the 2015 African Cup of Nations. The CAF replaced Morocco as host and expelled them from the tournament after rejecting a request to postpone it due to Ebola fears. Well, Equatorial Guinea co-hosted the competition with Gabon back in 2012, so it already has some facilities in place. Matches will take place at 4 venues in Bata, Ebibien, Mongomo and the capital, Malabo. Junior Binyam is a spokesman for the CAF in Cairo. I asked him whether Equatorial Guinea is ready to host the tournament alone.
I think as far as the infrastructures are concerned, everything is ready on ground. They also have the past experience of hosting in 2012. So even when it comes to know-how, when it comes to skill, to management of such competition, they have previous experiences because as part of AFCON, they have hosted twice the African Women Championship. So I think they have the know-how on ground, and with the help of CAF staff and all the other actors who make that event be a great event, they will be able to deliver on time. That is on the 17th of January for the opening game.
Now, Junior, is it correct that Equatorial Guinea's national side will participate as host despite being disqualified for cheating?
Yes, the team was disqualified for fielding an ineligible player. The decision was taken by the organizing committee of AFCON, and the executive committee has decided to revise that decision and to allow the national team of Equatorial Guinea to be qualified as a host. I think it has been done previously. In 2010, the national team of Togo was suspended for 4 years by the organizing committee of AFCON, and a few months later, the executive committee decided to correct that decision. So everything is done according to CAF regulation and CAF reglementation.
OK, now, Junior, just a final question. There have been some concerns that the last-minute decision to hold the tournament in Equatorial Guinea could impact on the competition. How does the CAF feel about that?
We hope the impact will not be so huge. That's what I was telling you. It's a big challenge ahead. It's another occasion for Africans to see, to show to the whole world that they are able to deliver even in particular circumstances. It's the occasion as well to pay tribute to the head of state of Equatorial Guinea, because taking such a challenge was not an easy one. So by accepting to host the tournament 2 months prior to the opening, it's a big challenge, and we are grateful for that at the level of CAF. But we also hope, as said by the African Union chairperson today, that the whole Africa will come together to make it a success.
Junior Binyam, a spokesman for the CAF there. Well, in the penultimate round of qualifying matches for the African Cup of Nations 2015, Ivory Coast beat Sierra Leone 5-1, while Tunisia drew 0-0 with Botswana. Ivory Coast needed to win after a shock 4-3 defeat by DR Congo last time out. Kolo Toure scored within 8 minutes. Sierra Leone then equalised, but the Elephants dominated the second half with 4 more goals. Well, in Group D, Ivory Coast are now second behind Cameroon with 9 points. The indomitable Lions play Congo on Saturday.
I agree with the decision made by the CAF. This country has good sports infrastructure, as it organized the African Cup of Nations 2 years ago. So I think Equatorial Guinea is the right choice since Morocco pulled out.
We salute Equatorial Guinea, Issa Hayatou, for keeping to the dates for the competition. Thank you. May Africa's youth enjoy the tournament, and I know we're going to win.
Well, that's all from your Africa team. More international headlines next. Stay tuned.